Yes, Andy, we hear you very well.
Awesome. Well, I apologize for the hassle. I was on about half an hour ago, and now it won't let me in, but as long as everybody can hear us. Jenna, Craig, Pierre, is everybody on board? I guess we can get rolling a little bit here if we're okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Perfect. Appreciate you all. No, Nicole was going to moderate, but she had something else she had to take care of. So we're happy to jump in and help each other. Basically, I want to just start and everybody introduce themselves. What brokerage did you come from, if any? And what was the driving force, if you did switch, that you chose EXP?
You want me to go first? This is Pierre.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Pierre Nadeau from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. I've been in the business 20 years. We have a team back home with about 38 agents now, and I've been with EXP for 2.5 years. Prior to that, I owned my own independent brokerage that we ran like pretty much like a big team. Had about 15 agents at the time, and now we're just we've been with EXP for 2.5 years, loving it, having a great time, and growing like crazy. And we've got about 370 people in our EXP organization at this time now.
That's fantastic. What was the driving force for you to switch to EXP? What did you see in it that you just couldn't ignore?
Well, it's funny because a friend of mine actually just reached out to me, Andre LaFontaine. He had reached out for me to check it out for him because he was, making the move. And when I looked at it, I thought, man, this is pretty good. I was already in a comfortable spot. I was already, doing, 300 deals a year back then. And, at least I thought I was comfortable until I started hearing guys like, Jay Kinder and Al Stasic, who, were getting on calls with me. And I was starting to hear their lifestyle. And I thought, man, I'm not even touching it. So the biggest driving force for me was, all the training that was going on. Owning your own brokerage is great, and it was better than being part of, the franchise I was with before that. But it also had its day. So EXP, allowed me to focus on money-making activities rather than doing all the back-end stuff. So the training I knew would be better for our agents, and I'm big on coaching, and I think everybody needs it. So that was probably the main driving force for me, is that I knew that this would just be better for our agents. And, we went with a gut feeling, and we were right, because it just seems that everybody who's, taking part in the systems and getting involved are doing way better than they've ever done.
Yeah, and that was exactly us almost here. We switched over from Exit Rocky Top here in Tennessee, and the freedom, the training, the possibilities, the networking, it was just such a refreshing platform where everybody, it's like rising tide lifts all boats. Everybody was so willing to help and support. Just the networking alone got our attention, let alone, the fees and the revenue and the stocks. People ask every day, well, where's your office? Where do you want it to be? Let's go hit lunch. Well, how can we help you? And it was a no-brainer, really, just to switch. So we're sponsoring about a dozen agents now in Tennessee, and I couldn't agree with you more. So great points. Appreciate you.
Yeah, it was, the big thing for me too was I just couldn't compete with the model as an independent. They just offered way more than I could ever offer. And, the big difference over the last few years is that our retention has been way higher. And it's not because of me, it's because of the model.
Agreed. Jenna, Craig, any of you guys around? You want to chime in?
I can go ahead, Jen. Ladies first.
Okay, sounds good. I've been an agent for about 9 years, with EXP for 3 years, ICON each year. For the majority of my career, I was with a team in a boutique brokerage, if you will, and then I made the move to KW just for a hot second, then came over to EXP. For me, with EXP, it was the flexibility to work in other states and just just the absolute, somebody said the possibilities. I mean, it was just endless opportunity. Sky's the limit in terms of where I could possibly go for my future and, retiring. And I'm not even close to doing that, but for future possibilities. And then also the collaboration of agents, even in, the small brokerage that I was with in KW too. I mean, it's a huge franchise too. But I've never seen a collaboration such as that is at EXP. More referrals within agents and just the collaboration to be better.
Yeah, the camaraderie and the willingness to help from other agents, never experienced anything like it. And I think that's when agents decide, look, I want to take this and run with this. I think that comes with those type of agents and professionalism. I absolutely couldn't agree with you more.
All right, I guess I'll go. Craig LePage, and I have a business partner, Shelly Johnson. We are in the Charlotte, North Carolina market, and we have a team of about 20, local real estate team called LePage Johnson Group. About 20 people on our team, plus some staff. We've been at EXP for about 4.5 years now. I think it's July of 2017. And we've more than tripled our business since we've been at EXP. We were at KW prior to that, kind of hit some ceilings there, and made the move, and it's been an incredible ride from collaboration, people sharing ideas. I mean, we've basically saved a lot of time and a lot of money through collaboration, and the people around us and within this company that are sharing their ideas and things they did wrong. It just saves you so much time, allows you to make better decisions on a business level. How we got here was, going back 4.5 years now, Shelly and I were talking once, and we were really concerned about the industry overall. We're only as good as our next transaction in traditional real estate, and we've many of us went through the downturn of 2009, 2010, and that's a pretty scary thing. So we were thinking about what's in it above and beyond the transaction. What happens if something like that were to happen again? Nobody's got a safety net, so we were thinking of different ideas, maybe to start a boutique brokerage. We had never heard of EXP before. And, we felt we were brilliant. We were coming up with all these ideas, that we can offer our agents beyond the transaction. Right around that time, EXP was introduced to us. There was only about 2,500 agents in the entire company. We flew out to San Diego on short notice, went to the San Diego shareholders meeting that had about 400 people in it. And we were totally blown away by the model, and thought there was no risk in trying it. And fast forward 4.5 years, we've tripled our production. We have about 34 qualifying agents in our front line of revenue share partners, and our total organization is over 3,200. So it's incredible. Glad to be here, and it's awesome.
That's exciting. I think I've heard over and over and over a repeat thing from, brokers that are sitting in other brokerages looking after so much hard work, after so many headaches and, hair pulling nights. What are we doing? We're just chasing and chasing. We can never get ahead. We never catch up. Once they actually sit back just to learn what EXP is about. We had 6 brokers that tried to recruit us, and it was all kind of this very similar platform, different commission games under the table, some for this agent, some for that agent. And the great thing about EXP is everybody is on the same platform. Everybody, the one that signed up 25th, for instance, Jay Nelson, and the one that we just signed up, they're all on the same platform, same possibilities. And I think once they step back and actually look at that and realize, is there bigger, is there better somewhere else? that's when they truly realize it. So I appreciate y'all for sharing that. Courtney and I were the first ones up here on Cumberland County in Crossville, Tennessee, to be EXP and husband-wife team, and Fairfield Glade, Lake Tansy, Crossville, Cookville, Knoxville area. And it has just snowballed from there. We had a broker say, well, I don't know what EXP is. Our reply was, well, you're going to. She didn't even want to learn about it. She just closed off on it. So I appreciate that. I know a lot of agents are listening in right now and going into the new year. There's all kinds of emails and, join this for leads to help your business. And I'll start, Pierre, Jenna, Craig, if you just want to kind of go in that order. In your mind, other than KV Core, what would be, in your opinion, the best lead generating system that you guys have been able to bank on, and going forward, what you're looking at?
Well, that's a good question, because we have multiple pillars, right, that are coming in. Are you referring to maybe like an actual lead generating system like like KV Core? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, do you solely go, and I know everybody does different, everybody loves different, everybody thinks, this system and this system has been the most beneficial, or ROI on this one has been the best. So we have KV Core with EXP. So along with that, how are you fully utilizing that, as well as, is there another system that has been really beneficial for you?
Yeah. Okay. So we use a company called Agent Locator and I think that they're in the US as well. I'm not 100%, but we've been using them for about the last 8 years. And so, we were familiar with them and it was working for us. So we decided not to get rid of it, just so that we could have multiple streams. But we do use KV Core, for the majority, because it is working for us and it's been going well. But Agent Locator has been definitely a good one for us.
Perfect. Appreciate that. And I know everybody has their favorite, and I'll be the first to admit we are not utilizing KV Core as we should be. And that's one of our goals this year, is to fully dive into it, every bell and whistle on KV Core that we can. We just been too covered up last year, which I guess is a good blessing. But yes, we definitely want to utilize all the resources and tools and networking and events that EXP has. You almost have more resources than you can handle. They provide so much for us. Anybody else?
We use a lot of different things. Mostly, from a cold lead technology. I think, obviously we use some KV Core. We do have Boomtown. We have Boomtown only because we've been with them for about 15 years and we're acclimated to that system. As far as comparing it to another system, I think the best system out there is the best one that you're going to use, or an agent is going to use, and you'll hear that over and over. As far as a lead source coming from them, a lot of that's mostly pay-per-click through Google, and that's what a lot of the different systems use. I like Google because Google is a search platform, and people are going on there with the intent of searching for a subject, like purchasing a home or a property, whereas something like Facebook is very broad. They're just using an algorithm to throw an ad in front of someone that might have clicked on something similar in the past. So it's kind of not as good a lead, in my opinion. And there's other things out there that are definitely becoming a more and more competitive landscape. But I think from a lead standpoint, if the best leads are the people that know you, like you, and trust you. So your sphere and past clients is huge. That's one of the. It doesn't matter how much we know about it and how much we harp on it. Even us, it's a challenging thing to do, is to continually put out feelers and touches to those people that know you, like you, and trust you. And that's, I think, the best system out there is, do events, do giveaways, do, cards, do handwritten notes, do, calls, texts. All of that stuff is really what's going to, stir the pot. And it may not be the person that bought the house from you before, but they know other people. They have family members. They have people that they hang out with. You want to be front of mind with them. So, taking that and putting it in one of these platforms, whether it's a KV Core or some other platform, and touching on them is huge. Sending them information about their neighborhood, what's under contract, what's sold. Everybody wants to know that. Everybody's nosy. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but hopefully there was some good stuff in there.
I think the sphere of influence is massive. You got to connect with your community. Most of what we have, not most, but a huge part of our business is actually, we have a huge church that we're connected to and plugged into. And just from there, somebody the other day said, hey, you guys are the realtors here at the church, right? You're the church's realtors. And so through that sphere of influence, or community events or whatever. Even at the grocery store, if somebody says, nobody likes people soliciting them, but if somebody says, hey, how y'all been? A perfect door just opened up for you to let them know you're a realtor without slamming it in their face. Oh, we're doing great. Busy as can be. We're realtors. Oh, well, I've been thinking, or my neighbor's been thinking, or you have a card on you. And next thing you know, you've been standing there for 5-10 minutes talking about real estate, and you just got 1 or 2 leads out of it. So you don't have to slap people about soliciting that you're a realtor. Please give us something. Just short little communications, holding the door, how's your day, connecting, whether it's church or grocery store or what have you, is massive. Community events, just get your face out there, plug into people. And the sphere of influence is massive. Agreed.
Yeah, so when I first started, it was definitely more of a realtor, Zillow, Google AdWords based. Now definitely more past client and referrals. Still some of those other lead sources, and then Facebook ads too. But I would definitely say no matter what lead source you have, using a CRM to stay organized. And it really, really is in the follow-up and staying top of mind. So the CRM is, KV Core is awesome. I use Boomtown. I absolutely adore Boomtown. But KV Core is great, and just using that as a management tool to stay organized. In a second, you can literally send out 300 text messages, right? Like it's a great tool to and you can send voicemail drops, like such an easy convenience rather than dialing a person every single time, and obviously conversation matters. But having that CRM is huge just to stay top of mind with past clients, and then obviously any leads that you do get.
Yeah, and Jenna, that's something that Courtney and I were joking about, that we do not utilize as much as we should. It's right there, and the last year with the world as crazy as it is, we've been, in Tennessee was one of the biggest moving states. So we're blessed on that, but we definitely, it took us away from what we wanted to fully utilize. And it's exactly what you just said. So if you could give like 1 or 2 words or a sentence about what is your key to ICON success for especially the agents that just came on board that are listening, what is your key to ICON success? We're in a smaller community, so if we sell a home, we're looking at $500,000 to maybe $1 million on a lake, where in California, you can sell a shed for that price. So it's a little different, depending on your community.
Well, I'll pipe in on that. So I guess, consistency. Craig said something earlier about the, the different lead generating systems, right? Use the one that you're going to use, because if, you can have all these tools, and if you don't use them, then it doesn't matter what you're what you're going to do. You're going to fail if you don't use them. So I think for us and for me to get to that ICON status was consistency every day, time blocking, making sure that, I'm making calls for, between 9 and 11. I'm doing certain things between 11 and 12, and I'm making sure that that's going into my calendar. Because if you don't do it every day, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for you to do it. Like if you say you're going to do it once a week, then it's just not going to be easy. If you do it every day and it becomes a habit, I think things will get easier and easier as you go, whether that's shooting videos, whether that's, prospecting, calling people, following up on your leads. You've got to be consistent with it so that you become a professional. If you're doing this part-time, you're going to get part-time money, period.
Very true. Yeah, networking, leads, referrals, social media, workplace, events, community, however you want to do it. Just be uniform in it throughout and start building, snowballing on those things can definitely help your success. Our biggest one has been networking and referrals and just connecting with other agents. That's been massive for our success.
I think you guys are nailing some key points for sure. I mean, time blocking you got to have a calendar. You got to live by a calendar. The simple things, be consistent. Pierre said that. I think Andy said it too. These are all the key components that are not like super rocket science, but we all have trouble staying consistent with. I think another one is surrounding yourself with great people and, hiring smart and leveraging yourself with technology, leveraging yourself with whether it be part-time people or, virtual assistants, whatever it may be, to leverage you to do the stuff that might be time consuming, but is, not to sound cruddy, but you got to look at yourself or anyone, like how much is your time worth? How much should you get paid an hour? And if that task does not fit that, you shouldn't be doing it. And everybody struggles with that. I do myself, but you've got to constantly check yourself and hand things off. And sometimes, multiple people doing things at 80% is better than you doing it at 100%, because you're going to get more leverage. You're going to get more results with, the other people doing it at 80%. I think my answer would be surround yourself with good people, good technology, and good leveraging capabilities.
Excellent answer. Thanks, Craig. Jenny, you got anything?
Yes, you guys pretty much took it all. I was going to say the consistency, time management for sure, and organization. Those are definitely, those are absolutely the foundation, and I was lucky enough to have those ingrained into me. Those are pretty much it that I would suggest. And then I guess to add on, probably just find like one, maybe two niches. That's something that you're really good at, whether it be like, leads, face or for sale by owners, whatever it is. Don't have all your eggs in all the baskets. You're just going to be all over the place. So just find, one, two, you can add on once you become good, but find a few or find one, something, and just really dial in, focusing on that. And then that way.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Jenna. And I'll start with you on this one, Jenna. I know, and we're running out of time here, so they might kick us out. One of the biggest things that oh wait, we got extra time, didn't we? My bad. One of the biggest things that we have been able to get attention of other agents is, for instance, on our signs here in Tennessee, we have our cell phone number, and then we have the 888 number with the extension. And a lot of times I can ask the agent, if a buyer calls from one of your signs, where does that call specifically go? And a lot of times it will be, well, it goes to the admin at the office. Exactly. If that admin is married to an agent, you'll never see that lead. And that has been a big driving force. But I know some states are totally different, Pierre, maybe for you as well. But in Tennessee, we have to have both numbers on that sign. So definitely here in Tennessee, we've been able to find that difference. And if you do talk to an agent who you might be in a transaction with, not with EXP, that's we don't focus a lot on recruiting. I know some agents do. We focus more on our clients and just the success of all of that we've been able to have, the freedom, the revenue, the possibilities. That alone has kind of given other agents and brokers interest of, okay, what are you guys doing over there? But how are you, Jenna, I'll start with you. How are you branding yourself?
Sure. So yeah, and here we can have like the signs go to us directly. So it looks like, I mean, honestly, when I went over to EXP, people thought I opened up my own brokerage because of the branding that I had. Just through social media, really, that's probably been something that I've really tried to increase these last few years, to put myself out there more and really be the face, which I really also was impressed how EXP handles that, where I feel like other brokerages, that's the forefront, and EXP really makes it so that the agent is the face. So like my tagline is head over heels for homes. So everything is surrounded by that and that brand in my name.
I guess I'll go next. Yeah, much of the same. We have a very large social media presence on everything from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram, the stories, starting a little bit of TikTok, YouTube, just about everything. We're leveraging our help to get more and more content out there and distributed to different people about different things, whether it be neighborhoods or lifestyle in the Charlotte area. Tips for buyers and sellers, whatever it may be, all different topics in different platforms for different audiences. And one of the great things about EXP is that it's kind of the best of both worlds. I mean, you're able to have a brand and operate kind of like a boutique, but you have the support of this massive, incredible juggernaut of a company that grows by 1,000 agents a week, and they're all willing to share, and it's just a massive opportunity for growth.
So we branded ourselves. So when I had my own brokerage, we had our own brand, for 10 years doing that. And, one of the things that I was really worried about was losing my brand when I came over, because I spent so much time and effort, building up that brand. The nice thing about EXP was that we were able to just kind of transition over and just change the logo. And so the branding stayed the same. And for the majority of I don't think most people even knew that we switched companies, to be honest. And then all the local realtors thought that we had bought EXP, an EXP franchise. So they still think that. Some of them still think that. So that's great. But our branding runs pretty strong. We go by, I'm a huge Grant Cardone fan, and Grant Cardone always talks about having an omnipresence out in your market, and everywhere you look, you see our stuff. So we're on social media pretty strong. We're actually, I think we're ranked. We're usually ranked number 1, number 2 in our whole area for social media presence, which is great. And I think it's because all of our agents within the team are huge on video, and they're huge on social media. And probably about 6 years ago, I decided we used to do newspaper advertising, and that was just getting ridiculously expensive and old. And so I met a great guy who decided to partner with us. And so he strictly does video for us, and he totally changed our business to digital marketing. And basically our business has doubled pretty much every year since he's been with us. So he's done a great job helping us with that. But again, I realized that I was not good at that, and decided to hire somebody. And you know what? It was an investment, and it was a great investment, because we've now made him a partner in the company, and he has vested interest in seeing us grow, and it's worked out very, very well for us.
Yeah, and what was mentioned, those are all amazing points. What was mentioned was when we switched, a lot of people thought oh, they started their own brokerage. No, we did not. Now, I didn't necessarily correct them. If they want to think we've started our own brokerage and this is a team to take seriously and build instant credibility, it only helped. And so that's what, a lot of them around here, people didn't hear or know of EXP. I think that's one thing that EXP could maybe do better is just kind of a household name. And I know that's going to just build over time, especially when you have that many agents, like you said, 1,000 a week switching over. I think we're at 73,000 plus now. But it absolutely worked in our favor because they thought we were a brokerage. And also was mentioned was, not good at. That's exactly what, Courtney does a lot of the paperwork. Thankfully, I can't stand paperwork. And I do most of the negotiating, or if there's a cold call type that comes in with us, we don't spend a lot of time on cold calling. We don't have to. We've built that sphere of influence where the calls are just constantly coming in. Which is fantastic, but it does take some leg work to get grounded and get set with that. And yes, social media, whether we love it or not, it's here to stay. Use it to your advantage. Adapt to it, take advantage of it, be on there, and not just posting listings or posting sales, posting events or other things of like, how are you plugging in the community? How are you plugging into events of that community? Whether it's a first responder lunch, connect with a lender or insurance company, or even a handyman or, heat and air, whatever it may be that you can team up on to help you get these transactions and get closings to the table and smooth closings. Did a handyman help you? Did an electrician help you? Did a plumber help you? You can connect with all these people and do some, first responder type events where you're just doing hamburgers and hot dogs to all the EMTs and police and fire, or you want to do a teacher event, you want to do first time home buyer or veterans type event. Things like that is what you really have to utilize and just plug into. And that has worked greatly for us, but it definitely is a partnership to where my weakness, Courtney's strength, and vice versa. And together, we just team off on that. And it's been incredibly beneficial to that. Anybody have final thoughts on the whole branding?
I think it just goes back to, once again, that word consistency and, just keep reinventing and, just keeping it fresh.
I think you got to stay top of mind all the time, right? And you've got to, you've got to have the new ideas. You got to be networking. This is what I love about EXP is that we're all I'm making notes here, right? And then, when I have my team meetings, like this week, we covered all the all the things that we talked about last week. And I just think that it's amazing that we do get to share like this and do get to pick everybody's brain. And I'm learning as we go all the time. So. Again, if you're staying top of mind within your market, I think you're going to dominate. That's for sure. The problem with real estate is it can become a very expensive business to be in, right? And I know for me in the beginning, maybe it might have been an ego thing back then, but I wanted everybody to know who I was, right? And so I poured a lot of money back into the business so that people would know who I was. So I wanted to attract people. I didn't want to chase them. So, and it's the same thing with agent attraction. We always talk about, how do we attract agents rather than chasing them down? Because nobody likes to be chased down or sold. But, the way we did it with the billboards and having that omnipresence and being everywhere, people were calling us to list their properties. And, people would always ask, well, how did you do so many deals this year? Well, we invested back into our business and we got the return, and it was an investment. It wasn't an expense. And I know every year at this time of the year, we look at our expenses and we go, okay, where can I cut back? Where can I cut back? But, you know, sometimes you've got to put that money back into your business, or else you're just not gonna move forward. And it's the same thing with video, and it's the same thing with social media. You've got to invest some of your time and effort into it, because if you don't, you won't get anything back. So I've got all kinds of agents that are constantly asking me, you know, oh, can you get me some more leads? Can you do this? And I'm like, okay, have you done your KV Core? Have you gotten, you know, everything lined up and you know KV Core inside and out? Have you been to any training this week? Have you, you know? And the answer is always no. So it's like, if you're not going to do the work, you're not going to get the results, right? Now, there was a question in here regarding our partner. Can you define vested interest? So what we do is we've actually, you know, I pay my employees I pay them a salary, but then I've got a couple of them that have been with me for a long time and that are phenomenal. And what we do is we actually pay them a bonus based on our profit. So they get a percentage of the profit twice a year. And I'll tell you, they get excited, right, when they see growth, because for those of you that are, you know, building teams or whatever, what ended up happening is, you know, I used to have somebody that worked for me that she was with me for a long time, but every time we added a new agent, she would get bitter because, you know, her salary stayed the same, mine went up, but hers stayed the same, and she just had to do more work. So now I get it. Whereas now with the people that are, you know, working with me in my office, they're excited about growth and they're excited about being profitable. And plus, they're not spending money like crazy. They're watching, you know, where we're spending money, and we collaborate together and we work together as a team, as opposed to them just working for me. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thanks for answering that, because I can't see those questions with the technical issue we had.
Yes, I figured that would be the
So yeah, if you see any of those questions, please
okay.
Help out with that, because I'm shooting blind here. I apologize.
Yeah,
but yeah, and the reinvesting. I used to do oil and gas and you know, in retail and such. My family's been in real estate most of my life. But the reinvesting, a really cool story to read is about Hershey chocolate. Because during the Depression, they didn't pull back, they reinvested. And so this year was incredibly successful for us. And we kind of looked at it as, how do we, you know, get our face out even more? So no matter where you drive around this whole community and region, you're going to see us. And not only social media, but a lot of the billboards. We don't do the huge billboards. In fact, we partnered with a gentleman who does the smaller little wooden ones, and it's eye level, it's windshield size, it's right there, but for just an absolute fraction of the price. Our face can be all over the counties and area for probably what it would cost on one large billboard. So for the year, that ROI, that return on the investment, is massive, because no matter where you're looking, you know, you're going to see us. I mean, even when I go get gas at a, you know, where you put your credit card in, I'll even slide my business card halfway in that when I leave. I mean, that doesn't cost but a penny, but you never know that person that comes up and gets gas behind you, you know, are they getting gas to go talk to a broker or an agent to sell their house? Or are they a buyer somewhere out of town that's just driving around the community? So they get gas, they grab your card, we get a phone call. You know, so it's there's all these little ways, and you always got to be adapting, always got to be thinking what is new, what is fresh, what works, what doesn't. Keep the hats on that work, take the hats off that don't work, and utilize. But what you said earlier, you know, everybody with EXP is collaborating, networking, sharing ideas. You know, you got to tap into that. You can't just sit home and play video games, or sit home and surf social media or watch TV, and then why is nothing happening? If you don't get up and start moving and get, you know, be positive about it and be confident about it, you know, it's the old, you know, if I can help somebody succeed, the good Lord's naturally going to take care of us, you know. So if I can throw that rope out, like that rising tide lifts all boats, if we can help others succeed, you're naturally going to be confident and positive, and you're going to succeed as well. And that, I think, is massive. Janet, anything?
You guys honestly touch base on everything that I was writing down to say, so good job.
Well, let me throw this out to y'all, because I know when we first started the communication, you know, years ago, the communication, when the one that we signed up under was newer as well to EXP, so they didn't have all the communication avenues. You know, how do we do this? Where do we go for that and this and that? And EXP, I guess, Growing Pains has come leaps and bounds over and above to get all of that in place to help agents. I mean, 11 o'clock at night, I can jump on, whether it's workplace or what have you, and immediately not feel stuck. And that's what I'm begging agents who are coming up under us. Never, please feel stuck. Because if we can't help you, we're definitely going to get somebody that can. And I mean, I can walk into other brokerages and it feels like you're walking on eggshells, like everybody's ready to stab their back. You know, oh, I got a great way to list new homes or find new listings, but I'm not going to share it here in the office. We don't get that with EXP. Everybody is so willing, and it's so refreshing, you know, that they're all willing to help. In your minds, what could EXP do better to help with agent success?
I'll go.
Yeah, maybe somebody else start for change. Jenna or Craig there. I know I can't see anybody, so.
I'll go, Pierre. I think EXP does a fantastic job of evolution and recreating and adding new ways to support us. I always I think all of the tools are there. I think Andy mentioned that, I mean, sometimes it's a little bit challenging to find them because there's so many great things. That's a good problem to have. I'm always a big proponent of video. A lot of people are visual. So if there were just little quick videos on how to, and you can go like how to do this, how to do that, how to find this. From a resource standpoint, I know we do a lot of that in our organization. We have, you know, a resource area that is kind of like a catch-all. And that's, I mean, I think that's very helpful to people. You know, a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And if you're one of those people that needs to know something, this sounds very like elementary, but ask, because a lot of people don't ask. They're just like, hey, I'm so frustrated. I don't know how to find this. You know, everybody's saying the same thing. It's like everybody is so helpful and so wanting to pull the next person up over the wall in this company, because that's one, the culture, two, we're shareholders, and everybody's success is, you know, their success as well. So I would just think, you know, learn everything you possibly can and pass it on to the people in workplace, pass it on to the people in your organization, everybody, and just spread the knowledge and help each other continue doing what we're doing. But video, I guess, would be the answer to that, like maybe a video library of how to do things. The challenge sometimes is it's such a fast-paced evolution that the video would have to be repeated or done over sometimes, but something along those lines, a little more visual.
So I was going to say something along those lines too with EXP, because there's so many, I mean, it's just an abundant amount of resources and people that you can call upon. It can feel, especially for like a newer agent, very overwhelming. And then of course you have the resources to help you with getting started, but sometimes it just feels a lot. So if there was just a more, obviously the whole idea is for it to be, you know, online and global, but having more of a personal, like I think the video idea is a phenomenal idea. And obviously we had the little COVID thing happen, you know, no big deal. But now that those are the shareholder summit and the conferences are starting up again, I think that's definitely going to help with more of that collaboration and not feeling completely alone. Getting the resources that you need. So.
Yeah, and Jenna, that's exactly what, when we came on, we're like, okay, where do I go for this? Where do we go for that? And now when we bring a new agent on, whether they're seasoned or brand new, just got their license, we're always like, look, this, and this, transaction desk, sky slope, if that's what you're using, that please don't feel stuck. I don't care what time of day. Get a hold of us, because I don't want you to get frustrated. You're going to get bombarded by all kinds of resources and emails at the beginning. We can help you filter through that, focus on the stuff that you absolutely need to get moving and get going. And hey, we'll even throw a few leads their way, when they have put us down as a sponsor, just even almost as a thank you. Look, we're going to throw stuff your way because we are getting so many leads, for instance, through KV Core. I can't tackle it all, so why not give it to your team? We brought on another domestic couple, and they have been absolute rock stars. I trust them with our kids. They've just taken it, ran with it, love it, and now they're easily standing on their own 2 feet. And sometimes I've gone to them, hey, how did you guys find this? We brought another agent over from Remax, and she's fantastic, and she has dove into KV Core and done all kinds of stuff. And within the first week, I'm asking her, what'd you do on KV Core on this? Because I haven't even done it yet. So yeah, it definitely, you hit it right there perfectly. So
yeah, I mean, when you think about what can EXP do better, man, God, they're doing everything so well right now. I don't know how they can get any better, to be honest. But I mean, Glenn Sanford's constantly looking for new ways to improve and make things better for us as owners and shareholders in the company. But I mean, I think if there was the one thing, and I will point this out, that onboarding can be overwhelming for some people, and I think that if you sponsor somebody into this company, I think it's your duty to help that person for the first 30, 60 days to get them going, to get them onboarded properly, and make sure that they're successful, because our company is built on people helping people become successful, right? I mean, I had a guy a little while ago tell me, man, I hate dealing with real estate agents, and they bug me and all this. And I said, well, this is probably not the right company for you, right? You gotta want to help people. You gotta want to care about their success, because if you're just going to sponsor people and leave them alone and never talk to them again, well, you're setting them up for failure. You're not helping them. You're doing, you're making things worse for them. So we've changed completely what we're doing. I mean, we have somebody now helping us with onboarding as well. We have a follow-up system set up where, we follow up at 7 days, 14, 30, and 60 to make sure that they're up and running. We let them know that we're there to support them and to help them. So if the person that sponsored you is not doing that for you, then look at your upline. Go into your enterprise, see who's in your upline, and keep reaching out to people until you get one that will help you and spend some time with you, because they're there and they will do that. So I think that's probably the only thing. So like I said, if you're going to sponsor somebody, I really think you owe it to them to walk them through and help them and make sure that they are successful.
that's a slam dunk right there. Yeah. If the worst thing you could do is get an agent excited about EXP and a fresh start and bigger and better broker, and then absolutely leave them alone and never follow up. And we immediately connect them with the upline, because if we're busy or tied up, I want them to feel okay to go above them. And, I'll even introduce and go, different avenues that way, so they are fully comfortable on any question, any situation. Nobody knows everything, so we got to plug them in with others. And I think that just helps tie in the whole networking, the big EXP family, that, if we can all just continue to help. And you're right, the CEO, he's fantastic. To have such vision like that on the leadership team, We brought 2 agents over these last couple of weeks. I can tell you right now, I would not ever want to be on the onboarding team. Hats off to them, because yes, they're bringing over 1,000 agents a week, and every state has different criteria. I would not want to be on those teams, man. I can tell you that right now. So we got about 5 minutes left. Jenna, I want to start with you, hon. Just kind of a recap of what you think going forward to focus on, or just final thoughts to leave with everybody. Even if you want a funny or what have you, it's Friday, so yay. Just kind of leave something for everybody to kind of think about, or challenge, or, encourage, or whatever God leads you.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we've touched on a lot today, obviously with the foundations of consistency, time management, and organization. But then it'll just be authentic and, giving back to people. I think that's huge. It goes an extremely long, just so far beyond, just the person that you initially help. I've gotten a comment, well, this person might be using you or whatever. Well, I don't care. If I can give that person value, then they might go tell someone else, or they, it travels beyond just the initial person that you help. So just giving back, I think, is a huge, it's just a wonderful thing in general. So
you absolutely just took what I was going to say. If you put heart into the game and communicate, that alone will take you so far.
Yeah,
it's amazing how people just flood to that, because there's so many agents. As soon as they throw that sign in the yard and hope it lands straight, those people are just kind of left hanging. And just a heart in detail, as though they're family, whether it's $1 million listing or a 1,000-acre lot, doesn't matter. Treat them the same. Treat them as family. Put some heart and detail, and that goes so far in referrals and building your sphere of influence. So, absolutely awesome final point, Jenna. Thank you.
Much of the same. I think an important thing for everybody is to make sure you're plugged in. And what I mean, like, be plugged into EXP, know what's going on, be plugged into your organization, be plugged into, the industry. And, if you stay plugged in, you're going to have knowledge, and then share that knowledge with others on whatever level. You can share it to buyers and sellers if you keep up on the market knowledge. If there's EXP knowledge, what's coming down the pipe, what's new, where to find things, you can help other people that way as well. And if we all do a little bit of that, especially within here in EXP, we're only going to grow faster and stronger, helping each other out and learning all of the amazing resources that we have. When you're talking to another agent about this company, it's super hard for them to even understand how much we have to offer. That, we could talk for an hour about everything from, whether it be the ancillary services or revenue share or stock or the coaching, the training, the sharing, the collaboration, the tools, it goes on and on and on and on. And if we can listen to people and what their needs are when we're talking to another agent outside of this company, then we can help solve their problems with many of the tools that we have, because this company can solve just about any problem a realtor has with their business, whatever that may be. So.
Well, that's awesome. Listen, I'm gonna change gears a bit. I'm gonna tell everybody, if you don't have a vision board and you don't have a reason to get up in the morning and go to work and make those calls and do all the things that we just talked to you about, it's gonna be real hard for you to succeed. So, get that vision board in front of you, put your goals in front of you, have your reasons. Is it for your family? Is it you want to buy a new car? Is it you want to pay for your kids' education, right? What are your dreams? Where do you want to go? And have it in front of you every single day, so that when you wake up, you see it and you know it, and have it written down in your phone, have it written down on a piece of paper, put it in your wallet, and look at it over and over and over again. And I heard somebody say before, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, then you'll just find an excuse. And all I'm going to say is stop making excuses and just go out and get it done.
Yeah, we hear way too many agents talk about kind of doomsday. Well, this and that. Man, find the positive in it. Look in the positive. Turn it around, and if you can keep driving and moving forward, and one foot in front of another. The last couple of years for everybody has been tough. Stay positive. Bust through those objections. I know when we started, we left Exit. Rocky Top Realty, and we didn't have one lead from that office in all that time. And the first 2 weeks with EXP, we kind of like, okay, what do we do now? And the first thing we did was, well, I guess we'll plug on to Workplace, and just as people ask, is there an agent in this area? I need a listing agent or buyer's agent in this area. We just started tagging other agents, and next thing we know, it's kind of like a family of agents across the country. And now everybody's kind of tagging each other for referrals. And in the first 2 weeks alone, just plugging in like that, didn't have to say anything. We just plugged names. We had 10 actually, but 5 actually amounted to something in that time frame, short time frame. And I said, this is a different brokerage. And I would cry if this left, because this is heaven sent. So I want to thank everybody. We're at a time. Absolutely awesome session. Wish you all the best. Have a wonderful weekend, and build on this. God bless you.
I was just going to ask if you guys could put your social media stuff in the chat. I'm trying to find you, and I'm having a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Now I can't get to that chat. I'll throw it on the others, but some people know me. I travel the country speaking. It's Lion King Ministries. Yes, that's a line attack that happened almost 24 years ago. So hope that encourages you. And the other one is the Peterson team here in Tennessee. So unfortunately, I can't get to the chat on this one, but search us Tennessee. But hopefully, I see it at the shareholders or other events. Come find us. Come say hi. We'll grab you a lunch or whatever. So,
thanks, everybody.